Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lawrence City Commission, the Tuesday, November 5th, 2024 Lawrence City Commission. And now I will have Sherry give us the run-through.
Good evening, everyone. Please silence your cell phones to minimize distractions during the meeting. When the mayor calls for public comment, please approach the podium to indicate you wish to speak. Virtual participants should use the raise hand function to indicate they wish to speak. When prompted, please select Join as Panelist. There will be a brief delay as your role changes. Once your name is called, please unmute and turn on your camera to provide your comments. Please state your name and zip code before speaking. The city reserves the right to turn videos off or mute participants. All comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The primary format for accessing or participating in this meeting is in person at City Hall. Virtual access to view or participate in the meeting cannot be guaranteed. The chat function will not be monitored. If you have any trouble, the meeting can be viewed on the city's YouTube channel and cable channel 25. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Sherry. And to go ahead and get it started off, I'll start off with item A, approve the agenda. The City Commission reserves the right to amend, supplement, or reorder the agenda during the meeting. I would entertain.
Move to approve the agenda.
I second that motion.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that is 4 approved, 1 absent. Item B, recognition, proclamation, and presentation. Our first one is the recognition of Kelley Hunt, and I believe we have Al Berman here to go ahead and speak on that. Or did you want to speak on it, Kelley? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to read it.
We're going to read it.
Typically, we have somebody go ahead and speak on it beforehand before we read on it.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Mayor and Commissioners and everybody here. It's a great honor to be recognized in this way in my beautiful hometown of Lawrence, Kansas, and I'm so happy to have been able to do what it is I do in the world creatively and support so many great organizations. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Hey.
All right. Whereas Kelley Hunt has forged a critically acclaimed 30-year international career as a touring recording artist and songwriter and as a resident of Lawrence, and whereas Kelley's music is known for messages of uplift, inclusivity, peace, love, as well as important political commentary and has been heard by fans worldwide, and whereas Kelley has throughout her career helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for Lawrence organizations and causes, including 15 consecutive benefit concerts for the Douglas County AIDS Project, Just Food, the Lawrence Humane Society, and others. And whereas Kelley has prioritized the empowerment, mentoring, and teaching of women, young people, and adults throughout her career, and has always sought to positively impact the lives of people with her music. And whereas her Saturday, November 9th, 2024 concert presented by the Lawrence Arts Center celebrates 30 years since the release of her first self-titled album, now therefore, I, Bart Littlejohn, Mayor of the City of Lawrence, Kansas, along with my fellow commissioners, do hereby recognize Kelley Hunt for the tremendous contribution she has made to our whole community and how she has represented Lawrence, Kansas throughout her career. We wish her continuing success. All right. Our second one is proclaimed November 9th through 16th, 2024 as a Salute to Veterans Week, and we have Steve Rapp speak on that.
Thank you, Mayor Littlejohn, Commissioners, City of Lawrence. The following week is going to be a great week. We have lots of veterans activities, and it starts off with Saturday with the Veterans Day Parade, of which one of the initial starters of this thing is right here, Kim Murphy. So we want to thank everybody that's involved, and we want to thank the City of Lawrence being so generous, and hope everybody can turn out, pray to the weather gods for Saturday. But thank you for this proclamation.
Absolutely. Whereas on November 9, 2024, Lawrence will salute and honor its veterans through the 7th Annual Veterans Day Parade. The Lawrence Veterans Day Parade Association Association event will be led by Grand Marshal Reverend Verdell Taylor, who served in the U.S. Army from 1964 to 1985. And whereas on November 10th, 2024, the KU Student Veterans of America and the KU Veterans Alumni Network are hosting their annual KU Vets Day 5K. This year marks the 13th annual run to honor our veterans and support their military-affiliated initiatives. And whereas November 11th, 2024 is Veterans Day, a continuation of President Wilson's November 1919 proclamation of Armistice Day. On this day, which coincided with the World War I armistice, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, became a national holiday. And whereas on November 11, 2024, the University of Kansas Tri-Service ROTC cadets and midshipmen will conduct honor vigils at the KU Wars memorial sites along Memorial Drive from 0600 to 1900 to recognize all who have given their lives to defending our nation. And whereas on November 11th, 2024, the annual KU wreath-laying ceremony at 11 a.m. at the World War II Memorial Campanile, the ceremony recognizes and honors all university faculty, staff, and students who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. And whereas these local veterans organizations are nonprofit organizations and depend solely on the resources of interested businesses and citizens who donate their time, talents, and vehicles to sponsor these worthwhile charitable causes on a yearly basis. Now, therefore, I, Bart Littlejohn, the mayor of the city of Lawrence, Kansas, do hereby proclaim November 9th through 16th, 2024 as Salute to Veterans Week.
Yes.
Thank you all. All right. I'll give everybody a chance to exit if they want to.
We're stuck. Not really.
All right, I'll go ahead and move us on to item C, consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda are considered under one motion and approved by one motion. Members of the governing body may remove items for separate discussion if desired. Members of the public may remove items identified as quasi-judicial for separate discussion if desired. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments. Would any of the commission like to remove any item?
No, sir.
Okay. Not seeing any or hearing anything from Commissioner Finkeldye. And it looks like we have one quasi-judicial item. Would anybody here in the public like to remove it? Not seeing anything. Sherry, online?
No, Mayor.
Okay, bringing it back to us. I would entertain a motion at that point.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second the motion?
I have a first and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 That is 4 approved, 1 absent. All right, that moves us on to item E, work session items. The work session provides an opportunity for the City Commission to discuss items in greater detail. The Commission will take no binding action on items presented during this time. Work session topics are eligible for public comment. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments. And our first one up is receive an update from the Safe and Secure Outcome Team. Chief?
Good evening, Commissioners. Rich Lockhart, Police Chief here in Lawrence. And tonight we are bringing you an update from the Treatment and Recovery Center. The center's been operating for a little more than a year now, and this is one of those things that has been really a game changer for our crisis system here in Douglas County. And it's really impacted the work that your men and women of the police department are doing. So I want to introduce to you Bree Harmon Moore. She's the director of the Treatment and Recovery Center to present the update.
All right. Hi, thank you all for having me, and I'm really honored to be able to speak today about the work that we're doing at the Treatment and Recovery Center. So, okay. Ooh, can I click or are you some? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we actually opened the Treatment and Recovery Center in April of 2023. We opened the urgent care portion of our building, which is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week walk-in urgent care for psychiatric emergencies. And then we phased in the inpatient portions of our facility in May of 2023. So we say that we're in our toddlerhood of being open. It's been quite a ride for the past 18 months, but it has been really fantastic to be a part of it and to see the work that we've done in our community and the help that we've provided people, and we continue to grow. All right. We have several key partners in this journey. Obviously, law enforcement, our emergency partners, Sheriff's Department, LMH Health has been a huge partner, RADAC has been a huge partner with us, and then Douglas County as well. I'm going to give you guys some data. This isn't super exciting, but I think it is. So, it's kind of garbled on the top there, but it's supposed to say clients served. So in 2023, so this is just a partial year, we were averaging 171 clients per month that we are seeing. That has jetted up in the full year of 2024. So we are seeing about 218 clients a month. That averages out roughly, we see about 10 to 15 walk-in clients per day into urgent care. And that, again, ebbs and flows throughout the month, throughout the season. It can vary. We see children and adults in urgent care, so we do see all ages in the front portion of our building. And then the back portion of our building, we can only admit adults, but we have exciting plans. Bert Nash is working on a youth recovery center, so that's exciting, and I think that will really help our community fill a need with kiddos. This is our crisis episodes. So we do have some repeat clients that are familiar faces to us, and we don't view recidivism as a bad thing in our at the TRC. We actually really welcome it. So we're happy when we see people back again. We know that a lot of times we are the only resource for them at that time while we're getting them connected with other things. Sometimes people are new to our community, so they don't have a lot of connections. And so that's our job, is to really be support to them and during their crisis until we can get them connected to the next thing. So our numbers, our recidivism rate is kind of high, but again, that's not something that we kind of scoff at. We're happy that they come back. So this is, again, it kind of just shows that we have, in the partial year in 2023, we had about 207 crisis episodes. So that would be the previous slide was showing the amount of clients. This is showing the amount of episodes, so they may come back 2-3 times in a month, and that's okay. So we're seeing about 308 visits of people coming back through our doors each month. One of the things that was part of our priorities when we opened the building in the program was that we really wanted to ensure that people were seen in crisis really promptly. We wanted to divert people from emergency rooms if possible. We wanted to divert people from jails if possible. And one of our goals was to get people seen within 30 minutes of checking into our building. So that has continued to be something that we report out on every month, and something I'm really proud of, and I know that our staff is really proud of. But we right now are at 26 minutes of people being seen from the second they walk in and turn their paperwork in at the front desk to being seen by a therapist. So I think those are pretty huge numbers that we're proud of, and as opposed to going to maybe the ER and having to sit for hours and hours, we're seeing people in 26 minutes. So that's been a huge thing for us, and I know for our clients too. Additionally, one of our other metrics that was really important was to make sure that law enforcement is getting back out onto the street and into the community. We had a lofty goal of 10 minutes from law enforcement drop-off time and to tell them coming in the building and leaving the building. We are at 4 minutes of getting them in and out. So we do a really quick, and that has been a really great partnership with chief and with all the law enforcement partners in our county to be able to really kind of streamline that process, that handoff, and get our partners back out onto the streets in 4 minutes. So that's impressive, and we're pretty proud of that as well. This slide talks about our admissions and our discharges. So we're about 199 per month. That averages, we're roughly at 6 to 10 admissions and discharges a day. So that's for a regular psychiatric hospital. That's we're discharging and admitting people a lot more rapidly. And again, that's the nature that was anticipated when we opened. So that's nothing, that was not a shock to us, but it is very busy. So we have people that are, we got people moving in and people moving out several of that times a day. So between 6 and 10 admissions and discharges a day. And one of our other major goals was to keep people in our community instead of sending them to hospitals in Kansas City or in Topeka or outside the area. And the goal for the crisis continuum was 80%, keeping 80% of people in Lawrence, Douglas County, and we have been keeping 97.5 here in the community. So we're really proud of that as well, and keeping people here, getting them the crisis care that they need here in our facility, and then being able to connect them with outpatient services quickly so that they can stay here in their home. This is just a little bit about our staffing. So we do have, myself as the director of operations, we have a medical director that's full-time in our facility. We have a nursing director. We kind of recently restructured our nursing department. And then underneath the nursing director, we have 2 nursing managers. We're still hiring for 1 nursing manager. But we have full-time APRNs, and we are almost fully staffed for 24-hour-a-day APRNs in-house, which is also a really big deal. We have really minimal call, mostly just in-house. And then we have RNs and behavioral health specialists that are on the floor all the time. We have a wide clinical team, a wide array of people. We have case management, we've got peer support specialists, we have a peer support manager, we've got therapists, and then we also have unit coordinators that help with our administrative tasks. Questions? That was a lot.
Okay. All right. This time I'd open up to the commission for
I
questions.
have just a couple
Yeah.
questions. So when you discharge them into the community, did I hear you right that you team them up with outside services before they're released, so they have, something to go to?
That was,
on.
yes.
That's it. So yeah, okay, that's what I thought you said. So the other question I have is, how many are repeat situations where you might see the same person consistently?
That varies from month to month. We're roughly, I think on average, we're at about 30% recidivism, and we have a couple of clients that kind of drag that number high, and those are ones that we're really focused on. If people are coming back over and over again, we're looking at just the bigger picture. There's other things going on. We're not meeting a need. We're reaching out to our community partners too, which likely they either have been working with a client or they're on the radar or something. A lot of times the challenge can be is that people just can't find this individual, and so when they come in, it's a good time for us to outreach and say, we have this person here with us. Come here while they're here, so we can get them connected and get them the resources that they need. It's hard for me to say how many individuals specifically, but I do know that it's about 30% is recidivism. And again, like you said, I think that's the most important thing, is to make sure that people know where they're going next. And so we really work hard to get them all the information. We have a plan for them when they leave. We call and follow up with them 2 days after. We have a peer support specialist that follows up with them to make sure they remember their appointment times, that they go to their appointments. And we actually have, RADAC has a an intensive care coordinator that works in our building, and they can help also kind of work with that client in the community. So if there's somebody that really needs like that extra kind of guidance on how to navigate the next steps, they're able to kind of navigate that with them, so that they have that extra assistance.
Okay, great. So when you're seeing 218 clients a month, some of those will be repeat folks, but most are not.
Yes, so the individuals served, those 218 clients, those individuals are unique. They may have repeat episodes. So when we talk about crisis episodes, the 308,
Got it.
that's where those repeats are.
It is 218 clients, but the episodes is what tells you.
How many duplicates?
Got it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question. Thanks for the summary. It's really helpful.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a little bit about, since you brought it up, some of the transport issue from either from LMH to TRC. I know this time last year, I heard not a lot, but several people reached out to me and were concerned about the time, the energy, the money spent on moving people from LMH who maybe get admitted there and then having to have a medical transport to move them between facilities. Not using medical transport would be ideal if it's only a couple hundred yards away. So my question is, have we resolved a lot of these transport issues? I know it was taking a lot of our really scarce resources in order to do that, and also seems really like a waste of money in general. Forget the time,
Yes.
but the money. And I want to know how was that resolved, if you can explain that.
We do not, I would say, very minimally use EMS. Even non-emergent transport is very minimally used. We have contracts. I know LMH also has contracts with medical just transport providers. So we utilize that. We also utilize Uber Health. So a lot of times those individuals will be discharged from LMH, like they're okay to discharge from LMH, and so then Uber Health will transport them because they want to come to the TRC. But if it's a transfer situation, we coordinate that and collaborate with them directly, and then do like a medical transport with our contractors. So we're very minimally using that, and the only time we are is if there's like a really concerning like medical issue that's happening. So yeah.
And then also one more. Tell me about your occupancy rate of longer term type of treatment. I go by there a lot. I'm just curious about how long an average stay might be for the average person receiving care.
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have two different units on in our building. So one unit is called observation, and that's really a short-term placement. It's got recliners, and so it's only meant to be for up to 24 hours. A lot of times people are detoxing there. And then if people need to stay longer, we move them over to, it's called stabilization, and that looks more like a typical inpatient setting. So it has, the rooms that have the two beds, and there's a great room with TV and couches and tables and chairs and things like that. That is up to 72 hours, is what we're shooting for. We have times where we have to keep people in excess. So once the clock strikes 72 hours, we're not kicking people out. That's something that we're really working with the client, with whatever their need is. And sometimes they need to go to another facility. Maybe it's inpatient rehab, maybe it's something like that. So we're working from the second they get there on what is the next step looking like.
And that can vary. So you do have the flexibility to allow somebody to stay longer while we seek the proper attention, instead of moving them around and experiencing other negative consequences as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I was
Yeah.
curious about that. Thank you.
Yep.
That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Right.
Yep. Go
Mayor?
ahead. Commissioner Finkeldye?
Just a couple questions. Thanks for that presentation. Bree, roughly speaking, what percentage of, those 218 a month come from walk-ins versus come from drop-off by law enforcement versus transfers from LMH?
That's another good question. So the majority of our clients that come in are either self-referred or come in with a family and friend. So that is the bulk of our, I would say 80% or more, is that presentation each month. Obviously that varies from month to month. We do take several transfers from LMH. In fact, we've recently started calling every morning to check in to see if they have people. We're on the phone with LMH. Our different areas are all day, every day. So that's important to us. We have a really open communication line with them to see if we can, help with getting transfers for behavioral health or substance use. So I would say that's probably the next largest percentage, and then I would say the smallest percentage, which is still notable, is law enforcement drop-offs and EMS. So we have multiple of those a week, but it's overall the bulk is self-referral and family and friends.
My other question's for the chief, if I can ask him a question.
Yes, sir.
Chief, can you just talk about what having the TLC has meant to, our frontline staff and getting people in and out as opposed to taking them to jail? Do we have any statistics on that or any stories, I guess?
Yeah, for us, it's been really a game changer. When we would come across somebody who was in psychosis, before the TRC was open, only option we had was jail. And they had usually committed some type of a criminal offense. But before the jail would take them, we would have to go to LMH to get them medically cleared. So medical clearance at the ER isn't something that happens in 4 minutes, I can tell you. It's an hours-long process. So you're taking one of your police officers off the street to sit in the emergency room with that patient until they're medically cleared, and then they go to the jail where they receive very minimal mental health services. So for us, we were excited about 10 minutes. We have a side entrance where we take folks in, we hand them over to their staff, and when I first heard this report, it was like 5 to 7 minutes, so now it's down to 4. Your officers are now back on the street, able to handle emergency calls in 4 minutes, and that won't happen anywhere else. It's really, for us, been a really important thing that's helped us deploy more effectively, contributes to that safe and secure feeling in our community. And I think the next big thing they're talking about is the Youth Treatment and Recovery Center. I think we're going to see real similar types of results there. Probably the thing that impressed me most when I first started working with them is the motto for the Treatment and Recovery Center is find a way to say yes. And so when we take people there, they're not trying to find a way to send them away somewhere else. They're trying to find a way to take them, get them the right care at the right time in the right place, and that's really helped us serve our community much better.
Thank you.
I've got one more question.
Commissioner?
So when you first got up here and you said that you were getting them out in and out in 4 minutes, I thought you were talking about the clients.
Oh, no.
I thought, my goodness.
That is quick care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's perfectly clear right now. But I did have a question. Do you track if they're from Douglas County, Lawrence, or outside our county?
We have a lot of data that we capture. We have requirements with KDADs for our licensure with them. We also track several metrics. It's over 100, and I think it's like 110 metrics that we track every month between the county KDADs and things that we need for our CARF accreditation. So we have quite a hefty spreadsheet that we keep that has every piece of information, demographic information, data. We have gotten some individuals from surrounding areas. We have a lot of college kids that come in. So that's, we get people from other areas, but truly the bulk of the people that we see are from Douglas County.
Is that any data that you could put in a public document, or like we see this data here? Is that something that we could take a look at? Yeah,
it's posted monthly on the county website. So yeah, there should be some data that people can check out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate being able to share.
Okay. Any additional questions? Not seeing any. It's a public comment item. I'll open it up for public comment here in the room. Not seeing any. Sherry, any public comment online?
We do have one. Just give him a second to join the meeting. Stephen Watts?
Yeah. This webinar process sucks. Let me say that again. It sucks. You got to sit here and wait as they identify you, and you don't even know what's been said before then. That being said, with respect to this report, I appreciate it coming in. However, for safe and secure matters, I would like to hear, as does the community, what is going on with respect to the, what was that fancy word that they use in that university community? Cohort. Where are we with that, Rich, in terms of, you know, the 911 stuff? I understand that we have to work with county folks, but where are the updates on all of this information for safe and secure inside the community, other than this one idyllic situation? It is incredible that we wait weeks, if not months, to hear about these updates, and yet there's a paucity of information. I understand that it's not easy. However, nobody said it was going to be. So let's hear about, the next time, please, what is going on with respect to the modernization of our town emergency 911. I get it that Rich, the chief, does not control the process. However, our town has chosen to go into whatever, to go 60%. Is that what we pay for the 911 center? I don't remember the numbers. It changes from time to time. So can we please have an update on that? Thank you.
We have one more, Mayor.
Okay.
Jeffrey Hepler?
Good evening, all. Jeffrey Hepler, 66044. I just wanted to say this sounds like a phenomenal institution for our community, and we have some data to back it up, which is even better. And thank you for all the good work that y'all are doing about it. That's all.
That's all the comments, Mayor.
Okay, and bringing it back to us for any final comments on this?
But just the question that
Yep.
Mr. Watts asked, what's the share, the city-county share, do you remember, on the
Six,
EMS or the 911?
is it 62?
Just curious, since you mentioned, I can't remember what it was.
I'm sorry, Commissioners, I can't remember off the top of my head. We did just renegotiate that to bring Baldwin and Eudora into the agreement, and so that
Okay.
did change it some.
Thank you.
But I would just like to say thank you guys for go ahead and bringing this information. I know that, it took a little bit and bumps and start to go ahead and get the TRC up and going, but I, had a feeling, and I'm glad to hear that it's been a phenomenal resource, as one of our commenters said, for our community. And I really appreciate that it's been able to accentuate and help out our law enforcement in terms of having a soft handoff for folks that might need a little bit more in-depth care than they're a little bit qualified for. So I really do think it's a vital resource in this community, and I appreciate you guys coming in and presenting to us and giving us a little bit more information, and and the community a little bit more information. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I don't see any other comments, so I will move us on to thank you guys. Item F, commission items. Any commission items? I might have a couple.
No, sir, I don't have anything specific.
Does anybody have any before I dive in?
Brad?
All right. My first one is regarding, I believe it's regarding Evergy and their construction of two of their natural gas plants. I think we're getting up on a time of a notice of a predetermination filing form, and I know that some other communities around us have sent in a notice to intervene, and basically what that is just to kind of get us a seat at the table to go ahead and comment on it. And I know that the plants themselves will not be in our vicinity, but the service area will. And so I think that gives us a unique opportunity to go ahead and, comment on that. And I know that Vice Mayor Dever has talked about the Energy Center, that, if these two plants are constructed, I'm not sure exactly what would be the future of that. And it would be pretty awesome if we could get some battery storage there and maybe 100 megawatt or something like that, and I think that could potentially be part of the discussion. And I would love for us to have the opportunity. And with this comment, we can choose to participate as much or as least as as less as we want. So that's also the case as well. So, but I at least want us to explore the opportunity of having a seat at the table. So.
I agree, and I don't think you'll get any pushback from us.
Nope, I'll help them build it.
So, all right. I think that's cool. Yeah, I think staff will go ahead and explore that. So I think their comment period's going to begin November 6th, and I think it lasts 10 days to November 16th. So, but
very good.
The second one is just on, I just want to thank everybody for participating in our democracy today. If you've gotten a chance to go out and vote, thank you for going out and voting. If you haven't yet and you're in line, please stay in line and vote.
40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It's really important, but I just wanted to thank people for doing it and, being a part of it. And I also wanted to thank our election workers and election officials for the hard work that they do and keeping, the trains running on time, so to speak. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. I have a third one, surprise one. Oiteen is one of our sister cities.
Oh, they gave us their...
Yes, and they gave us, or sent us, I was unfortunately unable to attend, but Vice Mayor Dever was in my stead and would let me know about it. So I wanted to go ahead and let them know and thank them for their gift and, go ahead and acknowledge them. So that's really cool.
That's great, yeah.
It's great to go ahead and meet them all.
Yes.
So that's it for me.
I've got one item. So the discussions we've had in October, past month, about the City Hall and just the historical value of it and how it came to be. I learned quite a bit that night about the fact that we voted on it. I didn't know that. Several little items like that. And I would like for us to consider doing a historical plaque with the information about how it was built, the uniqueness of the design, and what it has meant to the citizens of Lawrence. So I'd like for us to consider that. Nothing rushed, obviously, but doing a historical plaque.
So like a plaque summarizing some of the things that
how
we
you see those on the roadside with this is what
learned and
Yeah.
and we can share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
just to remind folks of where it came from.
I also learned a lot as well.
Yeah.
So it was, I could see the benefit of that. I'm in.
That's it.
Commissioner Finkeldye, any commission items? If he's still there? Okay.
Yeah, he shook his head no.
Okay. All right. I'll move us on to item 2, review future agenda items. Anything on there that we want to comment about?
Nope.
Nothing from me.
No, sir.
All right. Anything from you, Commissioner Finkeldye?
He says no.
Okay. All right. I'll move us on then to the city manager's report. Craig?
Yes, Mayor. 2 items on there, the ex parte notice, just so you can be prepared on that one. And also, we were asked a question about TGT and those funds. And so staff sent an update on that. And just to, as we looked at it, we were trying to anticipate the needs that we're going to see with the upcoming World Cup. And so I think we were trying to anticipate that. It had an unfortunate consequence of kind of sending a signal that we would have less grant money to fund our usual grants. And so we've made some adjustments, found the money in a different place, and this memo just kind of clarifies that and updates that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any questions for Craig?
No, sir.
Not seeing any from Commissioner Finkelstein. All right. And this public comment item, I'll open it up to public comment in the room. Not seeing any. Sherry, any online?
Yes, there's a few. Jeffrey Hepler.
Good evening again all. Jeffrey Hepler, 66044. I just asked, where did those funds get drawn from?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, just give me a second. Stephen Watts.
Again, this process is very cumbersome with respect to participating via Zoom. If you prefer that we come down there, why don't you just stop the Zoom process? Because it's not fun in terms of what you're able to see and what you are not able to see. That being said, with respect to the city manager's report, there is nothing in that report with respect to what I requested to the city manager's office via email. The city manager needs to report on what is going on with respect to the Affordable Housing Advisory Board having an interloper in that process, a person that is not associated with Lawrence other than having a job here. Why can't you guys, my representatives, our representatives to the town, interface with this office and obtain the information? Or fix it. Additionally, there are items that I am now requesting with respect to the city manager providing the town travel budget. How much money is assigned to travel and education for town staff? Or do we not have that as an item? Because the next questions center around the need for the city manager to provide a report which states what the budget is for every department relative to travel. We are in a state of exigency where the town manager states we have to cut back services. I'm all for managing the money. As we manage the money, we need to look at how much money is being spent for travel. Where is the city manager report with respect to town travel monies? Thank you.
That's all the comment, Mayor, and Porter is on if you have any questions for him.
Regarding the TGT?
Yeah.
Yes. Believe he probably had an opportunity to hear Mr. Hepler's question.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I heard the question. This is Porter Arneal, Assistant Director, Parks and Recreation, overseeing the grants programs. We were just able to go in and take a look at the TGT, and we believe that we can aggregate funds from other budget items in the TGT fund to come up with that $50,000.
So is it all TGT money or other?
It is all, yes, it will all come from the TGT.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
And for those who might not know, the TGT is what?
Transient guest tax, tax money.
And that's assessed on hotel
That's
rooms?
for, it's a tax that we have on hotel room stays.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions?
No, thank you.
Not seeing any from Commissioner Finkelei. All right. I will move us on to item H, commission calendar.
Do we not have the calendar anymore?
I don't think so. There wasn't a link.
It wasn't attached, I'm sorry. I don't think it has changed from the last meeting, but I'll make sure we get it updated so it's at least posted on the agenda.
Okay. Think that makes that easy enough? All right. We'll move on to item I, live broadcast ending, and I'll give people a chance if they want to go ahead and exit to go ahead and do so before we move on to public comment.